This past week, players from the 2009 NBA draft class received contract extensions to prevent them from becoming restricted free agents after the season. Our NBA experts, Alex Sherron and Jason Vonick, are here ready to determine whether the extensions were good moves by the teams or not. All right, guys, we're starting here with the beard himself, James Harden. 5 years, $80 million. Good move or not?
It's a lot of money. I would not. If I was a GM, I wouldn't pay him that much money, definitely. But for the Rockets, I think it's a good fit because they kind of needed to take a little bit of a direction. And there's nothing wrong with investing in a 23-year-old versatile guard.
Jason, this is an awful contract. You look at the first 3 games. Yeah, he put up a lot of points. He's shooting more than he ever has in the past.
You're right.
The best defender that's been on him is Wes Matthews and Nicholas Batum.
Okay.
And when they played him, he was minus 16 on the plus-minus.
That's fair. But I'm trying to look at it for the Rockets more so than for him. And they need to.
They're playing Jeremy Lin, Omar Asik, and James Harden close to $45 million in the third year.
Right.
That's absurd.
It is, but he's still a good player, and he will make them better. It's a good starting point. They're not going to win a championship with him as their clear-cut go-to guy.
They might not make the playoffs.
You're right, but it's a good start, and they will eventually get better.
You know, I think we all can at least agree that it was a better move for the Rockets to make this extension than the Thunder.
Oh, yeah.
It would have been much worse for the Thunder. Now, let's move on here to Steph Curry, a guy who's had his injury problems, but 4 years, $44 million extension. Good move or not?
4 years, $44 million. That's essentially $11 million a year for a guy with no ankles. That's a horrible contract. No, he played 26 games last year. He's still hurt now. He's played a couple of games. He played a little bit in the preseason, but he was playing hurt. And that's just not something you want from a guy who can do nothing but score. His assists aren't that great. He can't really rebound, and he's going to be hurt.
He's got players around him. Look, is it risky? Yes. Of course it's risky. I mean, any guy who's had that health history, it's going to be tough. But the Warriors have been rebuilding for so long, and they need to pick a direction. Since '95, 1 playoff appearance, 11 coaches. They need to focus somewhere.
The thing is with Steph, though, you don't do this contract extension, you can still sign him as a restricted free agent. You can match anyone else's offer if he does turn out to pan out.
Okay, you know, if he can be healthy eventually, he will pan out. He's shown he has the talent, but it is a huge, huge risk given the amount of injuries that he's had. We're going to move on here to Jrue Holiday on the 76ers. 4 years, $41 million.
He's good.
He's good.
But I don't know if he's worth that much money. Look, the Sixers were one of the biggest surprises last year in defense, top 3 in the league in defense. So naturally, they got offensive players in the offseason. Lost 2 of their top 3 passers, though. So what's the missing piece to the puzzle? They need a passer, someone who can create. He's good. He will be good for a certain team, but not for this team because they need someone to create shots.
I can understand why you might be a little reserved on Jrue Holiday, but this is a good player, and he's not necessarily about statistics. He is buying into Doug Collins. He's not a singer. Doug Collins' system. He's buying into that. You talk to him. He's a very bright player. He's big, athletic. He can easily go 15, 5, and 3. It doesn't look that great, but when you look at what comes out of it, that team is going to get much better, and when Bynum gets back, they're going to win some games.
He's shown he's got a lot of talent. I think they would have loved to wait an extra year, see how he handles being with Bynum instead of Iguodala, but they had to do it this year, and they signed him. So we're going to move on to our final guy here, Ty Lawson, Denver Nuggets, 4 years, $48 million. Good deal or not?
Not much I can say here. You got one of the most athletic, just naturally gifted point guards in the league. He's fast. He can he can create his own shot. And he looks good with those players. I mean, he looked good before they got all of those players from the Knicks, and he looked even better after they got him. Adding Iguodala is going to really help his game. Ty Lawson's great.
Yeah, I mean, you touched on it at the end. The reason why this is so good is because it's a good fit. He's not an elite passer, and we know that, but he can create shots for other teammates, and adding Andre Iguodala, someone who's a good wing but can also pass the ball, one of the best backup point guards in Andre Miller. So he doesn't have the pressure to create, and so he can play his own game. Great fit for Denver and George Karl's offense.
Yeah, you know what? Coming out of Carolina, people might have been concerned that he had all that talent around him, how good he was going to be, but he has shown in the couple years that he's been in the league, he's been very impressive, and I think that was a great contract move for them. We have to step away, but when one-on-one returns, Kurt and our NFL experts take a look at some coaches on the hot seat and determine how likely it is that they'll be back next season. Stay tuned.